Going to move on now to track days. The idea behind these is very simple. You take your own car to Silverstone, Brands, Donington, wherever, thrash it round, and then drive home in the evening. It's huge business now, so big, in fact, that some car companies are actually making cars specifically designed for the job.
This is the Porsche GT3RS, and it comes with a choice of colours, but only for the wheels. The only colour you can have for the body is white.
I drove a standard GT3 on the show last year and I absolutely loved it. So it's hard to see really how Porsche could possibly make it better. But that hasn't stopped them trying.
In essence, they took a GT3 and put it on a diet. They used titanium for bits of the engine, the springs, and even the wheel nuts. The bonnet is carbon fibre, and the rear window, that's plastic.
To give you an idea of just how serious this weight loss programme has been, look at the badge. It's normally enamel on a Porsche, but on this, it's a sticker.
So, what have we ended up with here? Well, it's not what you'd call comfy.
I came down here last night and this racing seat gave me chronic backache. But, and it's a big, round, full-bodied butt. When you get it to a track, it all starts to make sense. The turn-in is absolutely electric. Woof, nose goes exactly where you want it to. And although you don't get traction control, you don't need it because there is so much grip. As a driving experience, this really is hard to fault.
It does, however, have one problem. Ferrari has made a track car too. Welcome to the 360 CS. It's not cheap. At £133,000, it's £30,000 more than a standard 360 and a whopping £50,000 more than the Porsche.
For the purpose of this test, however, I shall ignore the price difference. And I shall also ignore my prejudices. You see, I think a Ferrari is a scaled-down version of God. And a Porsche 911 is a jumped-up Volkswagen Beetle.
Inside, you don't get a radio as standard, and nor do you get carpets. So you're able to drive along enjoying the beauty of those welds. And instead of these very heavy electric windows, you can have a sheet of perspex with a little flap in it. If I had one of these, I would employ someone to sit on it on breezy days, to stop it floating away.
Round 2 goes to the Ferrari as well, because the CS's engine serves up 425 brake horsepower. That's 44 more than you get from the Porsche. 425 brake horsepower means 118 brake horsepower per litre, and that really is a quart from a pint pot. It is a remarkable engineering achievement. So you're probably thinking at this point that these cars are basically the same. Both are lightened and fettled versions of already very fast cars. Both have mental performance, monumental performance, and both would be too noisy and too hard on the road. But actually, they're as different as chalk and chicken liver pate.
The Porsche is very plain, very simple. It's like a green salad. Now this, on the other hand, is more like a flying fish wasabi. It's much, much more complicated. You have a flappy paddle gearbox. I still don't like it, but it does at least work on the track. And you have a traction control system that you don't get in the Porsche. And you have a big button that says race.
Push it, and the onboard computer sets the car in psychopath mode.
I honestly honestly cannot believe this car. It is so balanced, so delicate, so poised. And you have all the passion and the soul and all this noise. And then at 6,300 RPM, the second stage of the exhaust kicks in and you're off again. And because you're sitting here in a cockpit with this bare carbon fibre and no carpets and a suede steering wheel and a full race harness, you really do think I am in a racing car. And it brakes like a racing car. Have I mentioned the steering? Have I mentioned that? It's perfect. There is no other word. It's perfect.
This then is a great car, but is it better than the 911?
Normally, I prefer mechanical engineering to electrical engineering. I prefer a bridge to a Pentium processor. So I should prefer this. I should prefer the Porsche.
And yet, here, today, I don't.
If you want to go to a track and be entertained by the Porsche, it's a very, very good car. But if you want to be astonished, you've got to have one of these.
Yes.
£1.
Yes,
£1.
I know. Well, anyway, on the subject of price, you said that for the purposes of that test, you would take price out of the equation, yeah?
Yeah.
Can I just pop it back in again? Because that Ferrari is £50,000 more than the Porsche.
Fair point, well made.
Yeah.
I'll stand by my decision. This is the more exciting car, the Ferrari. But I will agree that because the performance of the Porsche is so similar, you have to... It's remarkable value for money. Really is.
So that's the Top Gear version
Yes.
on these two. What
Yeah.
we need now on them is the Top Gear lap times.
Absolutely. We've got an Italian car and a German car. So what we really need now is a fair-minded English umpire. Bring him out. Stiggy Bird. Off the line there. Plenty of wheel spin. Naturally, the Ferrari is in race mode, which firms up the suspension, speeds up the gear changes, and backs off the traction control. So this is the Stig, of course, and he's got that turned off. Into Hammerhead, any understeer? Let's have a look. Absolutely none at all. Into the follow-through. Oh, he lifted off and the Ferrari got all twitchy there. It may be packed with computing power. That 360 is still a snorting stallion at heart. That's the second to last bend. That's the hard one. Into Gambon corner. Come on, come on, come on. And across the line in.
Yes. Go on.
OK, look, here's the lap board.
Yes.
The McLaren Mercedes from last week, 120.9, so I'm going to beat that.
No.
These are the big heavyweights, OK? We've got the Lamborghini Murcielago, 123.7, Zonda, 123.8, Koenigsegg, 123.9.
Yes.
Ferrari CS, 122.3.
No.
That is unbelievably fast.
That is some going. OK, so to the Porsche. Well, you couldn't find any difference between them in terms of performance, all right? So let's see if the Stig can. Here we go. Away he goes. Now, there's no fancy electronics here, remember, just the natural traction of having the engine right at the back. Already looking mighty fast into the first corner. Plenty of tyre squeal. Oh, this is what it's all about, just a raw, simple car and a raw, simple driver right on the edge. Hammerhead is coming up now. The 911 has so little weight over the front, it might understeer, but it doesn't. He's got the tail out. Now, follow through. Lifts off on the approach, but the Porsche stays perfectly planted. That is old-fashioned mechanical grip for you. Towards the finish, the 911's got a hell of a job, remember, to beat the 360's time. Up to the last bend. He's got a bit of a drift on there, and across the line in. You might not believe this. 1 minute.
It's 1 minute 22.3 is what the Ferrari did.
Yeah, 1 minute 22.3. It's exactly the same.